What's up, folks? Right, sitting down here editing this video, and unfortunately it turns out that the camera was not in focus. This is the curse of doing everything alone without camera people. Hopefully you can forgive it. It's not too bad, it's slightly annoying, but try and be patient with it. For those of you who want information on the LiveUP plan, how it is, this video pretty much does that. So please forgive me for the shitty focus, but enjoy.
What's up, folks? LiveUP back again. You should know that if you're on the channel. On my social media, loads of you ask about the LiveUP plans. You ask a bunch of questions, often very, very similar questions about what it entails, what you are and aren't allowed to do. What I'm going to do in this video is really quickly run through the kind of structure of it, how it works, how you would use it, to give you an idea of what it entails and whether it is right for you. So what I'm going to do is run through a list of the most common questions that you ask and that I answer, put them all into one video that I can just refer you straight to, or you can refer back to if and when you decide that you want to join a plan and you just want a couple of questions answered. So we'll kick off with a really, really basic one. Who is it for? Age, sex, etc. So let's start off with the sexes. We have two separate programs. We have one for men, one for women. Why? Men and women have very, very different physiologies. You have different nutritional needs, you have different training needs, you have different aesthetic goals. So it was important when creating this program that we designed a program for men, which is going to be predominantly trying to build and shape the upper body whilst creating strength, stability, and injury resilience in the lower body. And for females, what we look at is trying to bring a narrow waist, tight toned bum, thighs and hips, and a small but tight and toned upper bodies, arms, etc. Okay, so men tend to want bigger upper bodies, women want smaller upper bodies. Men tend to not really care too much about their legs, but we still make sure you train them hard because it's how you're going to burn the most fat, whereas females care a lot more about their butt, thighs, etc. to feel great in jeans. So that's the first major difference. We do things for both men and women. We do them very, very differently for various reasons. We also treat nutrition slightly differently because of the menstrual cycle, etc., etc. Next up, age. Realistically, LiveUP is for anybody between the ages of 18 and 80. Dependent on your current level of fitness, obviously you will get more or less out of it, but we have people on the plan who have had transformations ranging between 18 years old, the very, very youngest, up to about 70 years old, the oldest, who are getting full transformations and ending up in the best shape of their life. So who is it for? Anyone, male or female, any age, realistically any age, as long as you are relatively physically able. Now, of course, if you have really specific injuries, if you have specific ailments and illnesses, LiveUP may not be right for you because it is a lower input program from me, the trainer. What we do offer is a one-to-one online service, which is completely customized. So if you have specific issues that need to be worked around, then we could push you onto one-to-one. That's going to be much more beneficial for you because it is entirely customized. LiveUP is generic, it's highly effective, but it is generic and there's only so much we can do if you have specific needs. Next up, what do I need to do it? Gym, equipment, etc. Now, first up, let me explain to you why the main LiveUP program is a gym-based program. First and foremost, it's because it's going to put you in an environment where you are most motivated and you are surrounded by like-minded people. Your social support network is going to be the most valuable thing to you whenever trying to go through a transformation. You need the right people around you to push you forwards. Secondly, when you are in a gym, you are much less likely to slack off. You are going to be engaged because the people around you are engaged. You are under supervision if you don't necessarily have much experience with weight training. By training inside a gym, you have gym instructors, you have potentially PTs at that gym who can help you and tweak things if you need them. Third, progression. By training at home or doing body weight style exercises, there's only so much progression you can have, not much. In a gym, a well-equipped gym at the very least, you have the option to go from complete beginner to highly advanced expert training. And as we go through the phases, there are infinite phases. You don't run out of training programs. Every month you receive a new training program and they get more and more and more advanced, and they are going to be more difficult to do at home. So you put yourself in the right place to have the social support and to be motivated. You are going to train with much more intent in a gym because you are surrounded by people doing the same. You have infinite levels of progression and you are going to have improved safety when you're under the supervision of nearby professionals and the general public who can help out if something goes wrong. It shouldn't, but just in case. We are doing a bodyweight one. We are doing limited equipment ones. But they, of course, are not necessarily going to yield the same results as a full commercial gym or gym like here, UPLA. If you have this kind of equipment, you're always going to be in a better place. That being said, we have a number of our guys and girls who do train in garage gyms with minimal equipment. What you'll really need if you're going to train at home is a power rack at the very least, barbells and some dumbbells. Very, very simple, but it will mean some adaptation on your part because we will not adapt the LiveUP program for you. We will on one-to-one, we will make a program for you with whatever you happen to have, but on LiveUP, the program is what it is, and you would need to make some slight changes to that based on the equipment that you have. Cool. So it's in gym for various reasons beneficial, but it can be done at home as well if you have the right equipment. That leads me on to the next point. Is it customized? No, LiveUP is not customized. LiveUP is a generic program. So every one of our members on LiveUP gets exactly the same program, but it is a program that was put together after the best part of 18,000 hours of one-to-one personal training by myself. 9 years of programs, recorded weights, looking at every single client who did really, really well and the clients who struggled. And what I did when I pulled apart these programs was to take all of the best parts of the best programs and then look at the limiting factors for the people who didn't get in shape. By doing that, all of the best parts went into the program and none of the parts that people struggled with, or none of the bad parts. So it left us with LiveUP, the best program, best transformation program out there on the internet. I believe, our own members believe, and time again, we prove with the results that are delivered. It is sustainable, it is highly effective, and it's just about reprogramming your habits. It is not customized, that is what our one-to-one training is for, but it is extremely effective, and for £65 a month, it's an absolute steal. What if I have injuries? Again, goes down to the customization. Certain injuries you can work around. Again, if you know your body fairly well, things will not be customized for you with regards to the program. However, the forum, the online forums that the LiveUP plan is run through, we can make advisories on there. We can help you out with advice and potential tweaks to your training based on any issues you may have. However, though, again, if you have serious injuries, structural back issues, major surgeries, things like that, you may be better suited to one-to-one just to be on the safe side, certainly initially, until you know how to work things in the gym, until you are comfortable, you know exactly what you are doing. How many days will I train? Now, we know that getting to the gym can be difficult, especially in these days when we have busy lives. If you live in a city like LA where traffic, things are very, very difficult. When creating the LiveUP plan, it was a case of trying to get as big a result out of as little time as possible. It's about efficiency. We want you to train 3 days a week, weight train 3 days a week. So you will need to be in the gym 3 days a week. And that should be enough to get the absolute best result out of you. Anything else with regards to steps, cardio, high intensity interval training can be done outside. So to give you an idea of the structure, we ask you to train 3 days per week. We ask you to do 2 interval sessions if needs be, whereas if you come into the program already fairly lean and you don't have much fat to lose, that may not be necessary, so you may be told to take that out straight away, and step goals or cardio options. Okay, so we will say take X amount of steps per day. Again, may not be necessary if you are coming into the plan already very, very lean, but for those of you with fat to lose, we would advise make sure you're getting 10, 12,000 steps, or make sure you're doing 2 HIIT sessions per week. Okay, so 3 hours in the gym is the base, 3 hours in the gym per week, and a couple of cardio sessions if needs be, So this is individually dependent. How long do the sessions take? The majority of the sessions, if you're getting things done, you're sticking to your rest periods, you're fairly organized, they should take less than an hour, between 40 minutes and an hour per session in the gym. Now, of course, in the initial week, possibly 2, as you're getting used to the program, that may be a little bit longer because you're adjusting weights, you're recording things, you're trying to get a feel for the program. After that initial couple of weeks, you should be in and out of the gym really, really easily within 45 minutes to an hour. An hour, let's say, if you're including your warm-up, which again is all hosted on your dashboard. So everything you need to do is set up on your dashboard when you purchase the plan. Are they full body or body part splits? Now, LiveUP, for the most part, are full body programs. Why? Because they are the most effective for getting fat off you quickly, and they also allow for a much more favorable stimulation frequency for muscle growth. The problem with the kind of old school body part split style training is for the majority of people it doesn't work that well, and it certainly doesn't work that well for body composition. Why? Because if you are training your full body, let's say I go into the gym for an hour and I train my legs and my back and my arms. Okay, that's a lot of muscle tissue, meaning through that hour, by training that amount of muscle tissue, I've burnt a lot of calories. I've probably done quite a lot of muscle damage, so the calorie burn following that session is also going to be greater, okay? Versus I go in and train my arms. A little bit of a calorie burn during the session, a little bit of a calorie burn to repair that muscle post-session or over the following couple of days. So it's an inefficient way of changing your body composition. Whereas if we can get in and we can train hard, full body, 3 to 4 times a week, and throughout the phases they vary to push, pull, splits, we do things like that. But on the whole, full body is far, far better for body composition. It's far better for recovery. And in the initial stages, at least, it's far, far better for building muscle safely. So LiveUP are full body splits, but trust me, it is the best way. Do I have to do loads of cardio? No, as I've said, we set out X amount of cardio initially in the plan, but that is going to be dependent on how you come into the plan. If you come into the plan with a lot of fat to lose, we would advise trying to be as active as possible to try and get as much fat off you as quickly as possible to make your life easier, because the quicker you get leaner, the more food you can eat. If, however, you are coming in very, very lean, we may say, as we quite often do, listen, just do the 3 weight training sessions, maybe some steps. Don't worry too much about doing the HIIT. Don't worry too much about doing any cardio. Just get enough activity done. The goal throughout all of this is to teach you how to get as great a result out of as little effort as possible, both nutritionally and physically. One of the common questions we get is, what if I don't have certain equipment in my gym? Not a problem at all. Again, you'll refer to the forum and say, Elliot, I don't have X equipment. What can I do? The easiest thing we do here is just to mimic the exercise. So if you don't have certain things, let's say, for instance, really, really common is a hamstring curl. A lot of gyms don't seem to have hamstring curls. So what we'd advise is you get some sliders. You do hamstring curls on the floor. You do hamstring curls on a Swiss ball. You mimic the exercise. It's extremely easy to do. So don't worry if you don't have certain pieces of equipment, because we can advise you on what may be better or what may be a good alternative for that missing piece. Not the end of the world. We can work around it super, super easy. On to nutrition. Do I get a meal plan or macros? Kind of neither. The problem with a meal plan is that when you are given a specific meal plan, it's very, very difficult to deviate from that and to have a social life or to go to a restaurant or any of these things. Okay, if you fall off that meal plan, whether you think you are susceptible to this or not, you will get feelings of guilt. You will feel feelings of failure. This is not good. This is why I don't personally like to give meal plans. This is why when I created LiveUP, we did not put a meal plan in there. What we do is we give you food sources. So you have a list of proteins, 50 different proteins you can choose from. You have a list of carbs, 21 different carbs you can choose from. You have a list of fats, 21 different fats you can choose from. And you have unlimited choices in vegetables. This allows you to create your own meal plans based off of the foods that you love. What we do define in the plan are portion sizes. So you pick a protein that you want, whatever it happens to be, but you know that you have to have X portion. The same with vegetables, the same with carbs. Okay, so it's all in there, everything you want, masses and masses of food choice. You select what you want based on what you like, and that is why it's a sustainable meal plan. Because once you've got your eye in after the first week, if you want to go to a birthday or you go out for dinner with your family or your partner, you're still able to make the right choices because you know what a portion looks like, okay? And you can stay on your meal plan. That is positive reinforcement. Whereas if you slip off your meal plan because it's too restrictive, that is going to reinforce some form of negative failure feeling within you, which is not good because eventually that starts to create a lack of motivation. The thing with macros, now macros are extremely effective because they allow you to get educated about what's going on. You know, you start to learn about food, what's in food based on the quantities. However, one of the things I wanted to create with LiveUP was to take away the almost neurotic, obsessive tracking of numbers that I see so much in the fitness industry. The issue with it, like macros, getting down into shape with macros is a really, really good thing because it allows some detail. It gives you something really, really tight to aim for. However, you have to be able to let go of them as well. It's not good to constantly have to track your food. It's a very, very good for an education point of view and from a starting point of view, initially getting your transformation. But with regards to long-term sustainable habits, you can't track your food forever. So the LiveUP plan is based around food choices, portion sizes, and sustainability, as well as being a highly effective nutrition plan. Although a lot of you out there may be thinking, oh, I wanted a meal plan or I want macros, trust me when I say this is the better way. And it has been proven to be the better way for thousands and thousands of people now. So trust me on that. Next up, how many meals do I eat? We look at between 3 to 5, depending on where you are. So The plan is set out as 4 meals, which ideally we want because it's going to keep you well fueled, it's going to give you adequate nutrients, it's going to keep your appetite under control. When people get a lot leaner, what we try to do is we give them more food. We try to feed people up. So we have certain people towards the end of their initial fat loss transformation who are getting very, very lean, who are taking in upwards of 5, 6, 7 meals a day in order to try and put as much muscle on them as possible. But the starting plan is about 4 square meals a day. We don't add snacks in there. You are still allowed fruit, things like that, but we have 4 square meals a day. And then we always look to add more once you have got your initial fat loss transformation. Can I have carbs? Absolutely, yes, you can have carbs. From the starting point of the plan, we introduce carbs. The reason we introduce carbs is quite often on less supervised plans like this, when you remove carbs, your body is going to ask for them. When your body is asking for them, it is begging you to eat the wrong kind of carbs. On a plan like LiveUP, the lesser of 2 evils, this is just give you plenty of carbs from the start. That way, you're going to be eating rice, potato, oats, pasta, bread, whatever it is, without reaching for cake, cookies, ice cream. It's the lesser of 2 evils and it's still highly effective. As you get leaner, over time, we try to increase the amount of carbohydrates that you take in. Can I integrate fasting? This is something that happens a lot. Not necessarily. I don't have too much of an issue with fasted training. It can be beneficial for a lot of you, but I'm not a huge fan of intermittent fasting. When it comes to body composition, I don't think it is the best thing for body composition, which is why it's not integrated into this plan. If you want to do fasting, certainly in the initial stages, whilst we are trying to get you in shape, I'm not a huge fan of it, and I would say, no, we don't want you doing that. This may not be the right plan for you. However, once we have got you your initial transformation, if you want to start messing around with some slightly different dietary approaches, then potentially you can adjust something like fasting into it. Can I eat fruit? Eating fruit is something that I highly encourage on any fat loss plan to again stave off cravings, to maximize health and to make it sustainable. So yes, on the LiveUP plan, you are asked, forced almost, to eat at least 2 portions of fruit per day. Again, as you get leaner, potentially more, but we say as a base, you must be eating 2 portions of fruit per day every single day to maintain health and make sure you are taking in enough nutrients over time. Is there a big variation in the foods I'm allowed? Proteins, fats, carbs, veg, etc., or is it quite restrictive? Absolutely. As mentioned a little bit earlier, you have 50 proteins, you have over 20 carbs, over 20 fats, plenty of vegetables. There is very little restriction on plan, and you can add stuff to the plan. If there's certain things that you really, really love, you just jump on the forum, you ask me, Elliot, can I fit this into the plan? If so, where? And we say, yeah, absolutely cool, no problem. What we do with the nutrition plan that you receive on LiveUP is we give you the inspiration, we give you some options to start with, and then you adjust from there. But yes, absolutely, the variation in this plan is absolutely huge. Where you have to maintain your discipline is with portion sizes. And of course, again, the leaner you get, the more stuff that isn't technically on plan you can have over time, but you have to put the work in to get there initially. Can I eat dairy and cheese? There's so many of you out there who are obsessed with cheese. The main goal, certainly initially with LiveUP, is to repair your gut health and to repair you hormonally, to get everything back to a nice equilibrium. Now, with that in mind, when creating a plan, I don't want you eating dairy. Okay, it's not something that's necessarily going to be good for you hormonally. 90% of people find that it's quite bad for the gut, and when the gut is not working properly, when the microbiome is damaged, you are not going to be feeling good, you're not going to be performing well, and your body is not going to change as quickly. So what I initially suggest is that you remove all dairy. Remove all dairy. Trust me, it's the better way. Again, later on, as I've mentioned many, many times, the leaner you get, the further into the plan you get, the more you can integrate stuff like this to then see what happens. Because what you'll usually find is when you genuinely clean your body out and you're full of energy, your liver's working great, your gut is working great, when you start to reintegrate these things, you realize the damage that they were doing initially, and you think, do you know what, I don't even want these in my diet anymore. So dairy is out. Second to that, coffee is something that a lot of you do. Now, coffee isn't inherently bad. However, the way most of us use it is bad. We are taking in way too much of it multiple times a day. We're screwing with our body's natural cortisol curve. Our energy levels are up and down, which is causing havoc with our appetites, causing havoc with our cortisol levels, which is causing havoc with our body fat, which is causing havoc with our ability to recover from training and build muscle, etc. So again, with caffeine, initially, I ask you to take it out. Now, I know, again, for loads of you, just like cheese, this is going to be super hard and you're not going to want to do it. However, if you can dig in and put the effort in within 2 weeks, trust me, you will see and feel the difference. If any of you are out there watching this and you are thinking, If I say IBS, or I say bloating, swelling, lack of energy after you eat, and some of you are nodding and thinking, yeah, shit, even down to things like itchy eyes or blocked nose after you eat, this is usually a sign of an intolerance or something that's happening to your body that your body does not like. Things like dairy and coffee are massive, major culprits for this. By removing them, everything starts to settle down and level itself out. When your body is at a comfortable equilibrium, things change much, much faster. Okay, so if you've constantly tried to get in shape and every single time you've failed because of something, energy levels, lack of motivation, you know, getting really, really bad period pains if you're a female, massive appetite fluctuations as male or female, this could be down to these simple little tweaks that you need to adjust. By removing these things, it is going to put you in the absolute best position to get the results that you really, really, really want to get. And that is what LiveUP is about. It's about a re-education. It's getting your transformation. It's learning what is good for you, what is bad for you. It's teaching you how to stay in the shape that you want to stay in for the rest of your life. This is not just a transformation plan. It is a lifestyle as well. And this has been backed up by thousands of clients who have done it. So have faith in it. Be willing to remove just a few things for the greater good, and you will be amazed at what happens. Again, skin conditions, hair, nails, teeth, ladies. Those of you who have issues with skin, eczema, psoriasis, whatever, if you have dry hair, your hair is not good, your nails don't grow properly, you have ridge nails, all of these things can be fixed by the LiveUP plan, and quite often are fixed by the LiveUP plan within a couple of weeks, because we ask you to take the right things out and put the right things in. How often can I eat cheat meals? We're going to finish with this one. Now, as I've mentioned, when you get lean, when you are at a desired level of body fat, you can start to have a lot more freedom with your diet. However, honestly, on the LiveUP plan, you shouldn't need cheat meals because you are having tons of carbs, so your body isn't going to be craving sugar. You're having loads of calories, so your body isn't going to be craving calories. There is no real reason physiologically that your body is going to need a cheat meal. Okay, refeeds, carbohydrate refeeds, structured increases in calories and carbohydrates, maybe. Cheat meals, no, they don't really do you any good. If anything, they do you more harm. People say, yeah, but I need them psychologically, blah, blah, blah. You don't if you are eating correctly. That being said, the further into the plan you get, the leaner you get, you can have more freedom in your diet. Why? Because you're not going to want to screw up the progress that you have made. You're going to be able to see if something has done you damage instantly, because if you're already carrying a little bit of fat and then you have an adverse reaction to something and you end up being a bit watery, bloated, a bit horrible, you can't really tell. Whereas when you're super lean and you've got the body that you want, the body of your dreams, and suddenly something goes wrong, you are going to be able to see, hang on a minute, whatever that was I ate last night really wasn't good for me. My body is clean, I've got a food hangover, my liver's not working properly because I have toxins in my body. And guess what? Over time, that allows you to start phasing out the foods that are damaging for you. You learn how to use the foods you really love to really enjoy life and to enjoy your nutrition. This is what's been proven time and time again. So cheat meals, we don't advise it. You certainly won't get them as a structured thing whilst you are going through your fat loss phase. When you are at a desired level of body fat where you want to be, that is when you can start to reintegrate the fun stuff, you know, and you make your choice on it. You know, it's not going to be something that I will ever promote as part of the plan. You make your choice on it. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, great. The majority of our clients who go on the LiveUP plan, we're looking at about 3,000 people now, they don't want to do it. Why? Because they've improved their habits. Genuinely, deep down, they've improved habitually. And that is the key to sustainability. So, in a nutshell, that is the LiveUP plan. I've explained the training, I've explained the nutrition, I've answered pretty much every question that ever gets asked to me. Of course, if you have any more questions, pop them in the comments box below and I can give you an answer to them, potentially add on to this video. We'll see what happens. If you want information on it, pop to the website upfitness.com. I will put the links in the description box as well. But this should have pretty much covered everything that you could possibly want to know. It's an amazing plan, something we're really, really, really proud of, something that in the community, on the forums, we have people all over the world meeting up, training together. We have the big training seminars. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing place to be. And for £65 per month, you know, it's unbelievable value and it's only getting better. So if you want any more, hit me up, give me a shout. Follow us at UP Fitness Live on Instagram, myself, Elliot Upton on Instagram. But until the next video, the next time, I have been Elliot Upton. This has been the amazing UP Fitness Los Angeles, and I am going to eat now. Peace out.